It's entirely normal for puppies to be car sick or to look uncomfortable, drooling excessively, etc. on their journey home from the breeder, and indeed on the early journeys they take. I'm Jon, Pooch and Mutt's expert trainer, and here are some tips to help your dog feel more comfortable and relaxed on the road. Travel sickness in dogs is pretty much the same as it is in humans. A lot of us suffer with it as children and then grow out of it. It's the same with puppies. There are some dogs that do struggle with motion sickness for longer or even their whole lives. Either way, here are some tips for helping your dog get over it or just to make it easier to manage. Try and create a positive association with the car. Obviously, the first journey home in a car, long or short, is unavoidable. The puppy may be anxious at the change in people and circumstances, so not a great early experience for them to have. Try to alleviate this as much as possible. If it's feasible, liaise with your breeder and plan the journey for when your puppy is due for a sleep or a nap, and hopefully they'll sleep for most of the journey. You will be tempted out of paternal and caring instincts to let the puppy ride home on your lap, but your puppy will be used to the confines of a pen or litter box, which offers some kind of physical security. Crate the puppy in the back or boot of the car. Putting a thin blanket over the crate can also help them settle. After this first journey, and when your puppy is settled at home for a few days, get puppy used to going in the car even when not going on a journey. Feed them in the car, take them into the car for treats. Develop this by starting the car while they're in it. Keep the exposure relatively brief and positive. Moving on, lots of short trips are a good idea, especially if they go somewhere good like the park or pet shop. Literally just down the road is fine. Through this process, you will quickly find out if your puppy is going to be fine in the car or suffer from motion sickness. You'll easily spot the signs of a puppy with car sickness. It isn't always vomiting, but it's typically a lot of drooling and signs of anxiety. If your puppy does struggle in the car, don't give up on the positive association techniques. We might not be able to cure them of it, but it can help reduce the levels of stress and sickness they feel. You can definitely help them by managing the condition. If your journey is pre-planned, then avoid feeding your pup for approximately 3 hours before travelling. They'll still drool and be uncomfortable, but they and you won't have the unpleasant experience of being physically sick. More practical advice would be to transport your puppy in a crate. This isolates any mess and makes it easier to clean up during or after the journey. They also keep your puppy safer in an accident, and there are many on the market that are actually crash tested. If your puppy does travel best on the back seat, or you simply prefer it, make sure that they are in a harness and clipped in. Being clipped in by their collar is as dangerous as not being secure at all. Motion sickness affects dogs in different ways. Some are better if they can look out the window, and some are better hidden away from it. Experiment and see what works. Try covering the crate with a blanket or keeping a window slightly open to keep a fresh flow of air coming in. Sadly, some dogs never really grow out of their motion sickness. If this is the case, then you can seek the advice of your vet, as there are plenty of medications that they can recommend to help your puppy cope with unavoidable journeys. There are also lots of homeopathic remedies and indeed some traditional unscientific ideas that you could try, such as lavender or chamomile calming sprays. My personal favourite is ginger biscuits. I'm not sure if they actually work, but the biscuits are good.